What's up, gamers? Happy summer. God, I love summer. It's been a hot minute since the last devlog. I've been busy doing mostly not working on the game, but now I'm back, baby. And I've actually worked on quite a few things in the meantime, in little gaps here and there. Obviously, lots of bug fixes. One exciting thing is I got basic Steam integration working, so I can actually play this game over the internet with other people via Steam. And that was surprisingly not hard to do. I just had to replace a couple uh, things with the Steam things, and it works. So the first thing you'll probably notice is map, a little different looking. We got mountains, just some fun little scenery. We got mountains, we got lakes and rivers. The grass looks a little different. We have a skybox now. Instead of just a square floating in the void of blackness, we actually have a little bit of scenery around it. I'm not quite, obviously tied with this background, but at least it looks a little bit nicer than it did before. In terms of gameplay, one of the biggest changes I made was adding armor types and damage type to the game. Why is there water? What was that? Is that just like water hanging out? Where's that coming from? Oh well. Yeah, anyway, armor types and damage types. So basically, different guns will have different multipliers when they encounter different types of armor. Kind of standard fare for a lot of strategy games. It's like your main tank shell, that's an armor piercing round. It's especially good at dealing with armored targets. However, it's not as effective against things like buildings. Whereas another projectile, such as the artillery shell here, is a high explosive projectile. It is very effective against buildings, and it's decent against like tanks that are heavily armored. We have gun, little machine gun here. It's decent against lightly armored targets. So some of the tanks will have the light armor type. So a gun can penetrate and do a lot of damage against those, but enemy units that have the heavy armor type, the gun is going to be significantly less effective versus those targets. It's not just like bigger tank, more health. It's like different tanks have different armor types. Kind of standard fare for strategy games. So it's nice to have that working. Stuff like a flamethrower. It's good against buildings, obviously, and it's decent against lightly armored targets. But it's not as strong against heavily armored targets. We have our Ion Strike. This one's just equally good against everything. So it's pretty good against armored targets, but it's not going to be as good against lightly armored targets overall because they'll still have a decent amount of health, and this won't do any extra damage to lightly armored targets. So got like I think 4 or 5 different types of damage and 4 different types of armor combinations, so that can introduce strategy into the game. Okay, got a little map set up here, little battle, standard stuff, but check this out. We got this new view, the tactical view. Very useful. Hold on, let me see the picture. Oh, ignore that. And here we are. So in this view, you get to have a very high level view of the battlefield, but you can't move. So in this example, I'm in the top left here. I can't move my character, but I can build objects, and I can see everything, obviously, and I can also change the paths of my factories and change the production options on each one. This is obviously a little bit easier to see the broad, the overview of the whole battlefield. Specifically changing the factories, that was a bit tedious from the standard view down here. You know, you'd have to, you can still do the same thing, but then it's like you have to finagle the camera to like see where it's going. And you also kind of have to guess. But now you can just go in tactical, you can just go back and forth between these two views. Both players can, so and now here we are. And you'll see that I sent these tanks around here, and it's bad news for me in this corner. Because I don't have any defenses over here, so I can modify my factories to kind of match what my opponent's doing and counter that.
Building complete.
You'll probably also notice that these little green.
Outpost lost.
Oh no. Oh, I need to fix that. I know what's happening there. That's bad. We'll fix that. These little green circles that are coming out of these tanks, these are new tanks called heal tanks for now. Not the most interesting name, but they will heal all friendly units within a radius. And they'll kind of just like try and hang out in the back lines. So we'll see if this guy gets into a firefight here. Looks like he will. The heal tank decided to go that way. All right. Anyway, it works kind of how you would expect it to work. I think I have them balanced decently now. But yeah, if we go up here, we got a heal tank up front here. Has weak health. You see, he healed himself there a little bit. He healed that guy. You know, it's nothing crazy, but it will heal all units within the radius, so it can be especially powerful when you have a lot of tanks all fighting together in a group, and it all stacks. So they can make a pretty good steamrolling force. Then a couple other changes I made. I have like kind of production indicators for your resources here. So my energy is at +5, +13. This will kind of fluctuate to show you what your rate of change with your energy is. So if I add a few rocket turrets, you'll see that my production rate will average out to be a lot lower, and yeah, it's going to start going negative, especially if I slap on another factory here. Yeah, so now I'm losing quite a bit of energy overall. It should be a trend. Yeah, so it should kind of average out. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty negative now, and it might increase and decrease a little bit here and there, but this will be the overall trend over the last like 10 seconds. Same thing with like command points, except it just shows you how much you've gained or lost in the 10 seconds, because the only way you can lose command points is by building a structure, of course, cost command points, and then calling in abilities, cost command points. And speaking of abilities, I'm assuming my other player's about to die over here. Yeah, we're in dire straits, so a new ability is calling in reinforcements. Oh, I'm almost out of space. Oof. Anyway, you can call in reinforcements as one of your new abilities. Just spawns them in. It spawns them in really close to your tank, though. And one last change is now you can... I need to fix this bug. So never mind. I'll tell you about that change later. Okay, that's it for today. Looks like I'm almost out of disk space. Also, my computer's been like dying. Like the fans are going out, and it's just been like screaming at me for the past few days. So that's a bit unfortunate, but you know, it's just part of the process, I suppose. Anyway, before my hard drive's full, have a good one, and I'll talk to you later, gamers. Bye.